Shalom and greetings. This is servant of Yahuwah, Daryl Conway, and there was a couple of things that I meant to bring out a little while ago, earlier, well, the earlier part of last night, and then actually I'd hoped to get to it sooner or later because there is a lot going on in this realm that we're in. And the people that be who are privy to the information, I'm not sure whether everybody is privy to the information or just those who are have this thing of leasing that I talked about in the previous video that I'm about to post in a little while once it's done. The people who are giving themselves up to leasing means that they have given themselves up to being into bodies, transference of bodies and things of that nature. And that these are the ones that have been here who rebelled against Yahuwah, Wahaya, excuse me. And last evening, I told you all that after I made a post, I saw something online that quite perplexed me in spirit because it reminded me of the first episode that I was going through. And as I told you all before, when I was looking at through my names in Hebrew, I found quite a few, and one of the names is also Eric. I believe it's also Arik. And as I was going through this first episode, I saw Eric descending from heaven, but not the heaven where our Creator and Bara reside. And it was told to me then by the Spirit that this Eric was going to be as one who is attempting to be an individual who is sticking to me for the purpose of trying to keep me from doing according to what the Father wanted me to do. And when I made the post yesterday, all of a sudden a picture appeared of an Eric, and the posts that were related to it stated that he had not changed at all, meaning that what I had said on the YouTube or the Facebook that I posted is that basically that I had lifted up and that he had become the usurper all over again of the kingdom of Yahuwah. And if I failed in that regard, and again I had anything to do with that, I pray the Father to forgive me for those things. But still, and yet I still have to tell the truth about what is occurring and what is going on, because these things are still happening. And these individuals that are privy to the information, they try to say things to make one feel that as if there's no hope, and that's their job. I understand that, and like I said, if I have to apologize and repent to the true Creator of all things 1,000,000 times, moreover, I will. And I know that He's as a refiner with launderer's soap to wash the sins clean, and I do know that to be a fact. Now, the point that I was going to make here is that when I told you all yesterday on the post that I made yesterday, it might be one that I'm about to post in a little while when it gets ready, but it talks about the woman giving birth to a son. Now, in this post that I'm getting ready to post, I had talked about how Solomon, let me go there just in case you need to have that again, and it'll make more sense while I'm talking about it to go through it as I'm speaking of it. And it talks about how he went down to the garden to see the fruits and the nuts, and that is Satan's way of saying that he went down there to see who he could pick, and to see if anybody was right for the picking and things of that nature. And it was for that reason that also, after I told you that I'd seen him for many years, I thought that was the true Messiah. And I got hemmed up in that, thinking that I was individual as special as I could be, if you understand what I'm saying. Now, it starts in chapter 6. This is the Song of Solomon. And a quick note about Solomon is that, if you'll notice, is that first of all, he became a worshiper of all sorts of gods or mighty ones. And another thing is that Solomon, he received in booty, if you will, or tribute from other countries per year, 666 talents. All right. I don't know what that equates to in pounds. I'll do that some of the time. Yahuwah are willing to let you know exactly what it is. But that's and we know that that 666 has to do with man, and that's the sign of the beast. All right. Now let's see what's said in Song of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 1. It says, "Whither is thy beloved gone, O thou fairest among women? Whither is thou beloved? Turn aside, that we may seek him and with thee. My beloved is gone down into his garden, to the beds of spices, to feed in the gardens, and the garden, and gather lilies. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. He feedeth among the lilies." Now it said that the Messiah is the lily of the valleys, but it says that he goes down to feed on the lilies. I wasn't aware that you could eat lilies. I'll look that up so that I could be able to talk to you about that some other time. But when I was in the hospital, I think I told you all on this one I'm about to post, I did rather. Everything was on the same level, but when it came time to eat, the young lady would always say, "Let's go downstairs to eat," and I never understood that. And at the same time, when my wife and my sister came to see me, they said it was if they had gone upstairs to see me, and I had an idea about what was going on, but at the same time, it still perplexed me. As things still are somewhat. All right, and the fourth verse is, "Thou art beautiful, O my love, as Tirzah." That's extremely beautiful, or comely. "As Jerusalem," and it says, "terrible as an army with banners. Turn away thine eyes from me, for they have overcome me. Thy hair is a flock of goats that appear from Gilead. Thy teeth are as a flock of sheep which go up from washing, whereof every one beareth twins, and there is not one barren among them." And the Spirit gave me this thing about the twins there, about how just as there's this thing going on in one place where there's this person, this other twin in another place that's been created. All right, they're doing something else, and then that's why there's that continuation of a thing going on with that thing like the Matrix or something, if you understand what I'm saying. Or if you remember the movie Avatar, where somebody goes to sleep in that sleep state, they're able to do things in that state of mind. So again, these individuals are usurping, or as Satan said last night, that he has become the everlasting ruler of something of that nature. Now, again, whatever I had to do with that, I repent of that, and I ask the Father to forgive me. Then it says, let's see, where was it? As the washing, and 7 is, "As a piece of pomegranate are the temples of thy locks. These are 60 queens, and 40 or 80 concubines, and the virgins without number. My dove, my undefiled, is but one. She is the only one of the mother. She is the choice one of her that bared her. The daughters saw her and blessed her, the queens and the concubines, and they praise her. Who is she that looked forth as the morning's fair, as the moon clear, as the sun, and as terrible as an army with banners? I went down into the garden of nuts to see the fruits of the valley, and to see whether the vine flourished and the pomegranates budded. Wherever I was aware, my soul made me like the chariots of Nadab. Return, return, O Shulamite, return, return, that we may look upon thee. What we will see in the Shulamite, as it were the company of two armies, or the two armies are the when you look that up, and it goes back to Genesis, and it talks about the fact that it's two companies of where Yahuwah resides, and obviously one is adverse, and one is for. So there's a company that this individual is there, and he's trying to figure out exactly where the Shulamite is going to end up. And these people would have me end up where they are. Now, the ones who repent, because like I said, the true Messiah comes in with healing in his wings. All right. So he's able to refine. And then when you go to verse chapter 7, verse 13, you see it'll say, the mandrakes give a smell, and at our gates all manner of pleasant, fresh are fruits new and old, which I have laid up for thee, O my beloved. Now, the mandrakes, those were used, as I said before in a post previously, those were used for the purpose of aphrodisiacs. And now, if they're equating Solomon's Song of Psalm here, and it's supposed to be for the Messiah, he doesn't need to pick any mandrakes for anybody as to use as an aphrodisiac, okay? So we must discern that. And like I said, I still have to tell the truth no matter what the circumstance. And as it relates to what I was saying last night about the name not being Jesus, but and taken away from the point that he's healer, I neglected to say that because there are many who died in that name, okay? So in order for that to be a situation where he could go and pick those people up, all right, and take them into the kingdom, there has to be something said about that would make it understood that even in that name, even though there's a different name, but in that name that the people who already were calling him and didn't know any better, okay, now he's that name to them, but those who know better and don't call him by that name, all right, that's different. So let's read what's in the book of Revelation, chapter, I believe it's chapter 12, and we'll go where it talks about a woman giving birth to a son. Now, as we talked about, Solomon was talking about the church that he's talking about, and that's the false church, because we know that he went down to see the fruits and the nuts, okay? And then, like as we said in 13, it said that that he would mandrakes and then things of that nature. The Messiah doesn't need mandrakes or aphrodisiacs and things like that. But anyway, it says, I'll skip over this because we know that there's a true church, as it mentions in chapter 12, and then there's a false church. But then you'll notice that, let's see, where is it? Was it 14? Okay, it's 14, I'm sorry. But it was good that we visited that anyway, because that was a point that I wanted to make anyway. All right, but 14 is the Messiah and his people, those who have their father's name and his name written in their foreheads, okay? So then you look down and into chapter 14, verse 12, it says, here is the patience of, it says saints, but it should be of the set apart ones. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahuwah, Huahiah, I am who I am, who is beyond the Torah, the teaching, and the law, okay? And the faith of, it says here, Jesus, Yahusha, all right? Now, when I'm seeing this, and it says Jesus, and the fact that there are many who did not know, because they have been hiding that name for millennia, they've been hiding the true name of the true Messiah. You understand? So this is why it's written here in verse 13. Watch this. It says, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which die in the bara, the creator or the Messiah from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. Okay? So now, even though there's that dispensation of that name, there's also that dispensation of Savior. Okay? Because the association that was previously connoted to that name is a name of a different type of deity that goes back towards that sun worship. Okay? And the thing of the matter is that the Messiah, he understood that because he's the part of the creator, all right? And he had the Spirit to say that blessed are those who die in that name from henceforth that don't know any better, all right? That that's the only name that they know, and they can't shake that because this is how Satan has them bound, all right? And then, like I said, Satan came again and said that he has been established forever again, all right? But the thing of the matter is, blessed are they that die in Yahushua, or as it's written, Jesus, but that's not his true name. He came in the name that he gave to the Hebrews back in the times of the wanderings with Moshe or Moses, and excuse me, chapter, I believe it's 23 of Exodus. And he's saying to them that when they go into the Hittites, the Jebusites, the Perizzites, and so on and so on, and he goes on to say that my name, my angel, my malach, will go forth, and we know that Moses, his servant, went forth, and he brought them into that kingdom, but he could not give them rest. All right, so and he said that my name is in him, and since he was the one Yahushua that brought him there, his name went from Husha, all right, to Yahusha, because Yasha, we find that it means salvation, all right? It also means space. We talked about before in a previous video that in the wanderings, when they set up the tabernacle, all right, we find that in the inner part of that tabernacle that was set in a triangle, and not a triangle, I'm sorry, forgive me, that is a satanic thought, forgive me for that. In a, what do you call that, a square rectangle is what I'm trying to say, a rectangle. I know it was an angle, but rectangle, I guess you would call it, or square or rectangle. You'll find that the tribe of Levi were all pretty much all around the base of the inner part of that. On the outer part were the other tribes, okay? But those who were set for service of the tabernacle were there. But on the part of the this I guess that would be the, depending which way you're standing, that would be the right side of and Moses and Aaron and Judah were there at that side, all right? And it's also something that I paid attention to, that we need to take a look at, that I didn't bring out, but I wanted to bring out at a later time, but I need to bring it out now, because like I said, these people that be, they're constantly talking, but like I said, whatever happens to me, I want you all to listen and to do according to what it says, and not follow Hashatan, all right? Because like I said, these things that be, they are for the purpose of trying to deceive us. And all right, let's see, where was it? It's I believe it's in Malachi. Okay, let's go there. Yeah, it's after Zechariah. All right. Let's see. That's it. But where is it? Let's see. I should have made a note. I had wanted to tell you about that. I know it says that Israel is not faithful, but there's a place where Yahuwah talks about the fact that Judah and Ephraim have pretty much gotten away from him. Okay, here it is. It's in chapter 2. We'll start at 10. Have we not all one Father? Have we not all one Bara, one Creator? One created us? Why do we deal treacherously, every man against his brother? And what I find is that even when things are not going the way that they've been going today, hearing the things that they are, I've been getting this type of behavior from people all along, and it's unsettling. Like I said, that's why I pretty much stay off to myself. And I guess it's by profaning the covenant of our fathers. Then it says, Judah has dealt treacherously, and an abomination is committed in Israel and in Jerusalem. For Judah has profaned it says here holiness, but this should be the set apartness or separateness of Yahuwah, which he loved, and hath married the daughter of a strange mighty one, or strange God, mighty one. So what that means is that the tribe of Judah went after this usurper who was into the sun worship, okay, the sun deity, and that's why they dealt treacherously and were an abomination. Pretty much everything that we've been given down in here that is not correct came down for the Luciferian Jews who are trying to keep us from the kingdom, okay? So again, this is why the names were taken out rather. And this is why we have to discern what's going on. I can say it. All right. Then it says the Messiah, the Bara, will cut off the man that doeth this, the master and the scholar, out of the tabernacles of Jacob, and him that offereth an offering unto Yahuwah of hosts. And this have you done again, covering the altar of Yahuwah with tears and weeping, with crying out, insomuch that he regarded not the offering any more, or receiveth with good will at your hand. Yet you say, wherefore? Because Yahuwah has been a witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against whom thou hast dealt treacherously. Yet is she thy companion and the wife of their covenant? And did not he make one? Yet he had in the residue of the Spirit, and wherefore one, that he might seek a godly seed. Therefore take heed to your spirit, and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth. For the Bara, the mighty one of Israel, saith that he hateth putting away for the covereth and violence with his garment, saith the Bara of hosts. Therefore take heed to your spirit, that you deal not treacherously. And then 17 is a day, judgment day is near. And I'd be remiss if not reading that. And like I say, even if there's judgment for myself, if I've done wrong, I have to give an account just like everybody else does. And the thing is that we have to repent for the things that we've done. And this is a day of atonement on this day. So even we have wearied the Bara with your words. Ye have wearied the Bara with your words. Yet you say, wherein have we wearied him? When you say, everyone that doeth evil is good in the sight of Yahuwah, and he delighteth in them, or where is the judgment of Yahuwah? So again, there is a judgment coming, whether these individuals are looking for the Creator or to stop this judgment based on what's happened, or looking to try to find another Messiah and things of this nature. I mean, that's he is who he is, and he's coming when he says that, when the Bara says that he's coming, just the same. Verse 3, I'm going to read all of this anyway, all right? So it says, verse 3, chapter 3, verse 1, I'm sorry. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me, and the Bara whom you seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant whom you delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith Yahuwah of hosts. But who may abide that the day of his coming? Who shall stand when he appeared? For he is like a refiner's fire, like a fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Bara an offering in righteousness. Then shall the offering of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasant unto Yahuwah, as in the days of old and in the former years. And I will come near to you the judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, and against the adulterers, and against the false swearers, and against those that oppress the hirelings in his wages, the widows and the fatherless, and that turn aside the strangers from his right, and fear not me, says the Bara of hosts. And what we're finding nowadays is that people are not fearing the true Creator. We're doing what we have and big enough and bad to do. including, and I'm guilty of a lot of things myself. And like I said, this is a time for repentance. All right. This is the day that Yahuwah has made for that purpose, and we shall be glad and rejoice in it. Amen and amen. Verse 6. For I am the Bara, I change not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob, or of Israel, are not consumed. Even the days of your fathers you have gone away from mine ordinances, and have not kept ordinances, and have not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you, saith Yahuwah of hosts. But you said, wherein shall we return? Will a man rob Yahuwah? Yet you have robbed me. But we say, wherein have we robbed thee? But we say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and in offerings. And these tithes and in offerings are what we should be giving for the kingdom's sake. And the purpose is going for the church, or another word for that is the word that derives from also means circus. So again, it should be assemblies. All right. So we should be giving the assemblies for the purpose of storing up for things the proper way, because it wasn't money being stored up for a building to go to. All right. It was the things being stored up for the purpose of being able to give to the poor and the needy and to house. Okay. So again, let's get these things decently in order. You are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even the whole nation. What nation? The nation of Israel. All right. And there's those who have been grafted in. All right. Bring you all the tithes in the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house, and prove me now herewith that the Yahuwah of hosts, if he would not open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that you would not have room to receive. And I will rebuke the devourers for your sake, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruit before the time in the field, saith the Bara of hosts. And all nations shall call you blessed, for you shall be delightful, a delightful land, saith Yahuwah of hosts. Your words have been stout against me, saith the Bara. Yet ye say, what have we spoken so much against thee? You have said, it is vain to serve Yahuwah. And what profit is it that we have kept his ordinance, and that we have walked mournfully before the Yahuwah of hosts? Again, we're told in the new covenant that we don't have to keep any statutes, commandments, and laws and things of that nature. And we have been taught in error. He changes not, right? He changes not to the right or to the left. He continues to go forward in his mightiness and saves by his right arm. And now we call the proud happy. Yea, they that work wickedness are set up. Yea, they that tempt Yahuwah are even delivered. And they that feared Yahuwah spake often to one another, and Yahuwah hearkened and heard it. And the book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Yahuwah, and that brought upon his name. And they shall be mine, saith the Bara of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and will spare them as a man spareth his own son, and serveth him. Then shall ye to return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth Yahuwah and him that serveth him not. Because there is a difference, because the way that things are going is that we think that we're serving the true and righteous one, and we're not, because there's confusion in the camp. All right. In the camp of the truth. All right. It says in Genesis, the camp of they use the word God, but it should be Yahuwah Huahaya. I am who I am. He is beyond the Torah, the teaching, and the law, because those things are necessary. And he is who he is. And he is the being, the one that came from forever, eternity, to bring us into existence. I'm going to go again to Song of Solomon and go to that chapter so I can find it again in Genesis, so that I can look up that word for you and define what it means. Let's see. Okay, that's after Ecclesiastes, and let's see. All right, it's 32:2, Genesis 32:2. So when you get an opportunity, you should probably read that, as I will also, Yahuwah willing, Yahuwah willing. 32:2, and we find that in the second verse that Menahem means, when you go up, it says two hosts or camps. but then it gives the Strong's Concordance number 4266. And when I go back to this Strong's Concordance in the back of my scripture, I look up 4266. We find that this is what it means. A double camp, a place in Palestine. So the double camp this is also relevant to what has occurred in the natural, where we'll see that in the news where this individual was in the camp of the CIA and Russia, okay, and how this individual was pulled out in 2017, and all of a sudden now they're trying to determine, the government is trying to determine those who the heavy or the upper echelon, trying to determine whether or not they'll use foreigners for this purpose or not, rather than someone from the U.S. Because again, everything is here. You understand? And they try to use things for this purpose. This is why individuals say, "I am the chosen one," of things of that nature, because this is how I had lifted up. This is what Satan. And I understood what that individual was saying when he was saying that, and tried to tear myself away from that, because, like I said, I understand the type of spirit that's there, and when you try to make sure that you distance yourself from those things, Satan, he's a manipulator, and he tries other avenues to get you to do this and that. All right, let's finish. Where are we now? All right, we did that. And now, this is 15. And now we call the proud happy, yea, and they that work wickedness are set up, yea, they that tempt Yahuwah are even delivered. 16. And then they that feared, we read that. Okay, we'll read it again because that's important. It's important to know. They that feared the bara spake often one to another, and Yahuwah hearkened and heard, and a book of remembrance was written before him, and for them that feared the bara, and that thought upon his name. And they shall be mine, said the Yahuwah of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serves him. So a book of remembrance has been written when you talk about the fact that there is a true creator, and the fact that you don't know how to use the proper name, that is not going to be counted against you. And the fact that you don't know the true son's name is not going to be counted against you, because it was hidden from us. Okay, it was hidden, and at the same time it was visible, if you follow me. And like I said, this individual in the hospital, and like I said, he cast me to 23, and that's, as you know, in 23 told me the Baras prayer, okay, which is Psalm 23, and Yahuwah is my shepherd, I shall not want, and things of that nature. Anyway, and when he said that because I was seeking after righteousness, and I guess to him I was overly zealous, and it doesn't make sense for an individual like this. Not that I'm judging, but he had his hand in a young lady's bosom quite often in the same place. And how can he judge me and then thrust me into a place? And like I said, it's something that the Father will have to reveal to me, and that the Father, like I said, the only thing that I could acknowledge is that is a satanic thing, and the fact that I was serving the wrong person. Anyway, and then verse 17. And this shall be mine, saith Yahuwah of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. Excuse me. Then shall ye return, excuse me, and discern between the righteous and the wicked, and between him that serveth Yahuwah and him that serveth him not. Chapter 4. The day of Yahuwah is coming. All right. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And this is why I pray the Barah that he takes those spirits, because they're wickedness. They come through the air, and Satan is an individual where even when you try to do the right thing, and sometimes, like I said, you have to let things in your house, and there are some things that even like I said, you understand what I'm trying to say. But all right, there shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, said Barah of hosts, and it shall leave them neither root nor branch. 2. But you that fear my name shall the not S-U-N of righteousness, but that the S-O-N of righteousness arise with healing in his wings. And ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. And ye shall tread down the wicked, for there shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith the Barah of hosts. Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded him on Horeb for all of Israel, with the statutes and the judgment. So again, if in the new covenant we're taught that we don't observe these things, and we don't observe the dietary laws in these things, and the Messiah, the Mashiach, told us to observe everything that his father said, right? And if there's also a continuation of what I'm saying to you here additionally, and the true worshipers of the true Messiah and the true Creator are telling you the same thing, then something's off. So again, drop that has been established from the point of keeping these things of Mithraism and all of these other religions that have nothing to do with the true Creator. All right, it has nothing to do with them. This is why I've been hit once, and this is why when I go out, it appears that they're trying to make me have another accident. Okay, so again, and this whole thing happened, as I put in the previous post, when I had an accident. But what I didn't tell you all before, which I meant to, and now I'll go ahead and say it now, because these things are needful to be said. When I was a teenager, I had taken a few karate lessons at a place on the south side there, and they were free at the time. And a guy that I thought was my friend in the next block, and the guy I used to sing with, and other people in the block, we used to go take the bus to the further south side to take these classes. Anyway, the people that were teaching the class, they all had African names. So I thought it good that me and my so-called friend had these African names as well. So what I did for myself is that I got the name that I saw in the book that I thought was African, and I thought that it was neat. It was T-A-U, Tau, or Tav, however you pronounce it in Greek or Hebrew. And what I've learned is that is the Hebrew, from the Hebrew alphabet. It's the last of the alphabet, and then it is also it is the fact that it is from the Greek alphabet. It's the last, and it is said that the Messiah died on the Tau. All right. Now, as like I said, there are some things I'm not getting, and I'll leave that to the true and righteous Creator to iron everything out, because Satan is a manipulator, and I cannot do and fight these things in my own will or spirit. This is why the Malaki came and pretty much for the most part they strengthened the Messiah for that purpose, because there are some things that we all go through This is why we need people who are spiritually discerning around us, because we need to be fed and lifted up so that we fail not, all right? So that we don't fall by the wayside in the things that we have to do and accomplish. And even if it's not completely 100% the way that it's supposed to be, and we give everything the best shot that we can, and may Yahuwah be pleased. Yahuwah Huahaya, I am that I am, he who is behind the Torah, the teaching, and the law. Okay, where are we? Okay, that was 4. That was chapter 4, verse 4. Now, verse 5, behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Barah. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. So again, even though the Messiah said that John the Baptist had come, Elijah also comes before the coming of the great and dreadful day. So we have to be careful of these things. And like I told you all before, that the fact that I had seen a grasshopper, I didn't have the strength to pull weeds on a portion of my yard, and what I found was on the side of my garage, since I hadn't pulled it, were it was quite a few, about 15 or 20 grasshoppers on the side of it, and also in my bathroom, these people were talking about being in the walls, and they also talked about seahorse. And in my bathroom yesterday, I think it was, that I saw an upside down, as it were, a seahorse type of thing. Looked like it was poured in oil or something on my wall. So again, being spiritually discerning, I understand what they're saying. That and then my daughter told me that my wife said that there was something in the wall. Okay, and what they're saying is that this satanic thing that occurred is that I'm supposed to be in the walls now, or at some point. Okay, and like I said, the when you think about a seahorse, and the fact that it's dry, and it when you put it in the water, how does it live, and where's the life prior to that? You see. Anyway, I wiped it off and spiritually discerned it, and today and last night I think I went and I anointed it again, because like I said, these certain things shouldn't be, but some things sometimes you try not to have a lot of this dissension in the home, and you try to do things in a way that keeps the peace, but at the same time you let it be known that there are certain things you just won't deal with from a scriptural standpoint. And like I said, we have to discern where we are, and the fact that and also what I did, I smelled, this is now when I cleaned that part, the part of my window on the backside of my house a few weeks ago, I smelled the same thing, and it smelled good. And what I've learned is not only are the mandrakes that witches use, those are the ones that have the human genitalia. And what you find is that when you looked it up in Greek, I think it's something kind of a drag, or in Hebrew it means some kind of dragon. Again, this is why the seahorse was because Satan had gotten into the home some sort of way, and the upside down seahorses and what have you. All right, so there were mandrakes. Not saying that they were the mandrakes that are with the human genitalia underneath the ground, but that they were mandrakes that were the fragrant type with the little budding bulbs and what have you. And I pulled those up and put them in the trash. And I pulled mandrakes yesterday on the side of the garage where the grasshoppers had started to grow. And because this is like I said, I also read, I don't know whether it was after or before, I had read that about Solomon talking about the mandrakes and going down to the garden to see the fruits and the nuts. So again, may Yahuwah Huahaya, I am that I am he who is beyond the Torah, the teaching, and the law. Have mercy and favor on us all as we continue to try to fight this fight of belief in him, and the fact that he is the true and righteous one, and we have nothing in and of ourselves, but it is he that has made us and not we ourselves. And may he send his Malaki, his messengers, his mighty ones, for the purpose of fighting this giant, this Raphael. Okay, because obviously it's said that in some places that this Michael or Micaiah, okay, is a better name for him. Is that he is another name for the Messiah. Okay, so again, say what Satan means for bad. Yahuwah Huahaya, I am who I am beyond the Torah, the teaching, the law. I always put it like that because that is needful, that we understand that those things are needful. Keep the Sabbath, keep the days, the solemn feast, okay? Because they keep us, especially the day of atonement. And he expects for us to on a daily basis repent to him. But if you this day of atonement, if you notice what happened, this scapegoat, this person that these individuals call their mighty one, this Apollyon and all this destroyer, and see, because like I said, they want to keep this thing going, and the thing of the matter is that the purpose of them wanting to have just as quick as somebody told me in the hospital not to do these things, and the other day, like I told you all, somebody told me to leave these things alone. I even still, yet and still, whatever happens to me, I still have to tell the truth. As I read this, and as long as the Spirit has given me unction to tell you the truth, that's what I'm going to do, because that's who the Creator is. He is of truth. Okay. All right, Father, again, please forgive me for anything that I've done against you. As you know, Father, I have a haughty spirit. I have a pride and lustful and sometimes adulterous thing based on what I see, Father, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, Father, which is warring against my members at times, Father, and just not just me, Father, but all of your creation, Father. All of those that are seeking you in spirit and in truth, Father, and we're trying to fight the good fight of faith, and I ask that you would be with us and guide us with your Haruch HaKodesh, your set-apart spirit, Father. Because it is for that purpose that you sent, and that you allowed us to understand where we are in these end times, Father. Those are people who already know, and the little ones that don't know, Father, just like even my grandson, as I'm telling him truth, Father, he's being abused by young men at school by the name of Andrew, and even by a young man by the name of Damien. And Father, I ask that you would be with him and guide him, not just him, all of my grandchildren, Father, that you would lift them up, Father, and keep them safe from all hurt, harm, and danger, so that the enemy touches them not. Father, even though an individual by the name of Damien has even been to my household, and an individual by the name of Nicholas has been to my household, Father, I ask that you would continue to keep us safe, my whole family, Father, my wife and my children and my grandchildren, and even to the 10th and any generations that should come after, Father, my siblings likewise, Father, and the spouses and all of our spouses, Father. We ask that you could keep us and those that will be. And not just that, Father, those that will come into the kingdom, Father. I ask that you would bless those, Father, and my stepfather, my stepmother, Father. And I ask that you would bless my cousins, my nephews, my nieces, that if they are following the wrong person, Father, if they're following error, Father, if they're following the enemy, the dragon, Father, I ask that you would bring them into the sheepfold and in righteousness, Father, because you are the true and righteous one. You are the true and righteous one, Father. And we don't want to be in any type of sinful in any type of sin in any way, Father. We want to be serving and worshiping you in spirit and in truth. And these things I thank you for. In Yahushua's name, in your name, Father. Amen, amen, and amen.